Good evening, everyone. I'm not sure if anybody will jump on. There's all kinds of streams. It is New Year's Eve here on the East Coast as we are counting down to about an hour and a half till we hit the year 2020. Um, just kind of doing a quick chat, quick mail call type of thing as I had gotten about three more cards. I was kind of looking for them, but everything's kind of getting put away. Hello, Tracy G. Alex. I was just commenting about just saying Happy New Year's to everyone. Just a real quick chat. Show the rest of the holiday festival pins as we're closing out the holiday season. Starting, well, it's New Year's Eve tonight, and then you have the holiday off tomorrow for New Year's Day, and then we get back to regular life of just everything. So I'll show the rest of those pins from the festivals of the holidays. I do have a couple New Year's trivia type of questions I can ask people. And then I also got two more cards in the mail. I do like to thank the Myers and the Mouse family for their card. Unfortunately, I've been kind of cleaning up my Christmas stuff, and I went to go grab to see where they were. And at this point, they must be put away with the other cards. And also, the Midlife Fives have sent me a card also. So I just wanted to thank them. Unfortunately, I did not get all my cards out that I wanted to. So I do apologize to everyone. I do wish everyone, I hope everyone had a nice Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever holiday that you celebrate. And Happy New Year's to everyone. And I do appreciate the mail. And I also thank the Mickey Sightings for the festival, the holiday passport that they sent out also. So I do thank Sean from Mickey Sightings for that also. So I hope you guys are having a good evening. I'm having game night with friends and stuff. Just wanted to jump on real quick and just say thank you for everything. I just want to let everybody know I do go live on Tuesdays at 6:30. I did find out that Zippity Doodad's going to start doing that on Tuesdays at 6:30. So I do hope that you do come and support me. Also, I know, they put on great shows and stuff like that. But I do have some different ideas for shows and everything, and if I'm not getting the support, then I'll have to look for another time, which is unfortunately for me. But I do hope people do come into my stream, and because I have been doing the 6:30 at 2 o'clock. I'm not blaming him. I know you have to do streams whenever it works for your schedule and for your family or whatever he has planned. Right now, for me, 6:30s at 2 o'clock is a good time. So I do appreciate that. Happy birthday, Noah. So you're a New Year's Day baby. I also have a nephew who was born on New Year's Day about an hour after midnight. So happy birthday, Noah, and happy birthday to my nephew, Colton. So he'll actually be 16 years old and probably ready to jump on board to want to start driving. So he'll be 16. So he'll at least have one day to go study if he's allowed to go for his permit. But I'll leave that up to his parents. So happy birthday, Noah. Happy birthday, Colton, and anybody else that celebrates on New Year's Day on January 1st or 2nd, or even throughout the weekend there through the first week of January. So happy birthday. I'm going to go ahead and show the festival holidays pins that I was able to get. That This Our Dreams crew was down there whenever the holiday festival. They were down over Thanksgiving weekend, and the festival holidays started, I believe, that Friday after Thanksgiving. And they were able to pick me up the different pins that were available also. So I do think that This Our Dreams. One of them is the DVC pins, and one's the pass holder, and then just a generalized Epcot Festival of the Holidays pin. So this is the general Festival of the Holidays pins. It looks like, I'm guessing that Chip and Dale were actually the mascots for the Festival of the Holidays, because a lot of the merchandise had Chip and Dale on there. They had really nice Spirit jerseys. I couldn't think of the name. Spirit jerseys. I had thought about getting one. It did have a little bit of glitter, and I wasn't too crazy about that. But then I also would rather. I love the Spirit jersey. If I saw it in the Character Warehouse or even a Cast Connections, if I was down there and I was able to go to the Cast Connections with one of my cast member friends, and I saw it there and it was my size, I would probably pick it up. But since it's something that you can only wear around the holidays, I decided not to get the Festival of the Holidays. I do have one from the Flower and Garden Festival that I was able to pick up at the Cast Connections over June. And that one's fairly nice. It's a little bit plainer and everything. I know there's a few Spirit jerseys out there now that I would love to have. And eventually, hopefully, they'll still have them whenever I do get back down around. There was a nice Epcot one that I had seen a few people sporting. And of course, I know I would have to look at it a little bit more, but I know they had the Baby Yoda Spirit jersey also, so that's something. The next one that I'll show you is the pass holder pin that they had for the Festival of the Holidays. That was the limited edition. The other one was limited release, but they had the limited edition pass holder Festival of the Holidays pins. A lot of times with these pins, if you're not there the first day of the festival in the morning, whenever it first opens, they may have them throughout like the afternoon, but they go. A lot of these limited edition pins are just them in general. They're usually gone. You may get lucky with the limited release because they might have a lot more out that you might be able to find a day or two later. But when it comes to these pass holder limited edition pins, and this one is the DVC pin that was available. This one's really nice because it features Donald and Goofy. And this one, of course, Mickey and Minnie. And they are both limited editions. And they were gone basically that first day. So I'm very grateful for Jeff and Angela of This Our Dreams for picking those up for me. The other thing I would like to say, if you haven't already done so, Myers and the Mouse, they're getting real close at the 1,000. I know they're right now modding for Resort TV 1 because they're getting pretty well slammed with about 3,000 people watching their stream. But if you know any friends that are looking for a great channel, family channel, and a channel in general, have them check out Myers and the Mouse. So make sure you guys check them out if you haven't already subscribed to them. They're getting really close to 1K. They already have their watch hour, so and they're probably going to be doing some more content because I know they're going to be heading down to Disney here soon, and doing all other stuff. So thank you, Nathan T. Thank you very much. And hello, Texas Takes, Tracy G. Alex, Noah. I do thank you guys all for joining in. I am about at 1,500. I do sometimes get on a group where you kind of watch each other's hours, and it did pick up a little bit. That's why I've been trying to go live, because a lot of times if you can go live and get a few people here and there, you can pick it up. A lot of times you should try and get in a whole hour, but I'm not going to stay on probably for an hour now, because I know, some people are out at, want to watch all the different streams. I know I want to get back to watching Resort TV 1. And thank you, Tracy. Yeah, I've been dropping some various videos because that I had taken for my trip. I just did a video of a lot of the activities that I did throughout the year. My youth retreat at Jamonville. Went to Erie, Pennsylvania, and spent the evening and overnight there at their amusement park. I So on that video, it's I've been to Disney 4 times this past year, thanks to my pass holder, and one was a family trip, which we did Universal, SeaWorld, and Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios before Galaxy's Edge actually opened up. And then the rest of the time was right after Galaxy's Edge opened, and various pictures of different people that I had met on their trips, and a lot of the different YouTube channel people that were down there. So that has been a very good year, meeting various different people and getting to know a lot of them. I would have loved to have been down there over this holiday because of various other people being there, like This Our Dreams was there for a while, Monarch Moments was there, of course, Paper Scissors Vacations Oh My, Lena is still down there, Mickey's Sightings was down there until today, of course, the Sea Resort TV 1, I know the This and That crew is going to be going down there to run, and also Mickey's Magic Meg. She's one person I like to go, would love to meet sometimes. So, yeah, and I've been playing around with possibly going down real quick for the weekend. It would be nice, but I'm also, after I started talking about it, I was like, oh, I looked at it and I have some appointments, and of course it's a holiday. A lot of the places change for me to see if I could change the appointments and how long I would have to wait for a new appointment. So, if I don't go then, I am planning to be there for Star Wars the run weekend, and so that's at least one trip that I'll be going. But I love to try to get in a quick weekend trip or sometime here in the sort of winterish time also. Okay, so you're actually going to be there for a good time, long time, like the 2nd through the 26th, or is that February 26th? Yes, I did see that, Tracy. I think Kenzie might have talked about it, and also Angela. I know she's going to run with her daughter. Lena was talking about being there. So, yes, I said I would like to run at least a 5K. I'm not, for me, it would probably be mostly a fast walk and run type of thing. If I totally end up doing it. Hello, a space for 3. Thank you for joining. So, and I would love to get out to Disneyland sometime. That's something I really would like to do. I was at Disneyland in the late 90s. Yeah, that's all I would be doing, and I'm also doing the virtual half marathon, and that you just do at home, and they still send you the stuff or whatever. And I was asking a couple people about it. I thought you kind of logged it, and then whenever you got it, then they would send you your stuff. But somebody said, no, it's more of an honor system. You just pay, and then they end up sending you the medal and everything whenever it's over. But I plan on using that as the training. And I'm not training hard for the race. I don't blame you there. But that was one of the things. if it's something I end up doing pretty well, hopefully maybe next January that might be something to do. Okay, Texas Take, Happy New Year to you. Thank you for joining. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already done so. And if you haven't subscribed to me, make sure you hit the please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell. Like I said, I will still be going live at Tuesdays at 6:30. I do hope I get the support also, and everything. And I am looking for another time and day, but it seems like some people are coming back now after the holiday, and I'm just trying to see, or other people are coming up with new shows and kind of getting into different slots. So I'm trying to figure out another time that might work for me. Because Mondays, I seen it like a couple slots open, but I do a class on Mondays, and Mondays is kind of hard for me anyway because it's a lot of meetings and different things. So, or I can go a little bit earlier, but then I don't get some of the West Coast people or some of the people earlier because they're either still at work or it's dinner time actually. So, um, I'll go ahead and ask a couple New Year's quiz questions, and then I'll go ahead and end the stream. That way, you guys can get back to watching whatever. I'm sure probably the Disney parks is probably going to do their Magic Kingdom fireworks. They usually feature the Magic Kingdom ones. Hello, Disney Grandma. Thank you for joining. Happy New Year to everyone. This one, the answer I think is a little bit different than what they have here. Yeah, I have them on my other phone, just kind of playing there in the background, just to see. Because Epcot seems like that's the park to really come on New Year's Eve and do what they did. Go to the Magic Kingdom the day before, if you're actually down there then, and then go to Epcot for for New Year's Eve. I know some other friends, they've done that, and last year they went to Hollywood Studios. They have a big giant dance party in front of the Chinese theater and stuff, and they really like that. It's crowded, but not as like jam packed crowded like the other two parks get. I know the Magic Kingdom, I saw a notice that it was closed. They weren't accepting more people. Now, that could have changed now for people to get into the Magic Kingdom. That may or may not have, because it depends on the weather, or maybe you're there with your younger kids and you just stayed for the first showing of the fireworks, or whatever. So they may be letting at least some of the resort people, or it's still closed to the public because it's already jam packed. Because I know the last couple years it seemed like right before the fireworks and stuff started, a storm had come through, or people were already sitting there ready to watch the fireworks, and the rain would come. That's one of the things I love to do on my bucket list. Looking at the way New Year's Eve falls next year, that might be a possibility for me because of leap year. It falls on a Friday. My only thing is I still would have to work during the day and then catch a flight and hopefully get there by the time a lot of that stuff happened. I know one year my sister and her kids met her husband down there, and they got there mid afternoon and did go over to Epcot as soon after they ate at their resort and went to Epcot. And I remember her saying she enjoyed it. It was something that was nice to experience, but it was like a one and done because by the time they got out of Epcot and on the bus to Art of Animation, it was like 3 a.m. The lines were just crazy for the buses and stuff. Now I said to her, well, if you went back this year, I know I saw a notice that the Skyliner was going to be open till I think 2 a.m. As long as the weather is good and it's not overly windy or anything like that. I said, well, you would have options. I'm sure that line for the Skyliner I know when I was there, it wasn't crowded, but it was crowded, but they really had it really serpentine very well in the queue. So they had that all set up ready to go when Epcot closed. So I'm sure they have it all ready to keep the crowd. So people who are walking to the boardwalk and beach club um, can get by the crowd trying to get on the Skyliner. But I'll go ahead and do the first question. This one says, what is the first country to celebrate New Year's Eve each year? Hint, where is the international dateline? Um, I don't think that answer is kind of correct because they're saying that it's a country which I always thought it was like smaller ones. But yes, it is New Zealand. New Zealand, which is west of the international dateline. Australia is second. I always thought there was other little islands that that celebrated first, because I can remember one year when it was going into the year 2000. I watched ABC all day, and they would show. I believe it's the island of Samoa or something, and it was real early in the morning, but maybe they are in the same thing, but since they're talking about a country. But New Zealand is the answer. January is named after what Roman god who had two faces so he could look ahead to the future and back to the past at the same time? Is it Jupiter, Janus, or Jason? Hello, Mike Wheeler. Happy New Year's. Hello, Monarch Moments. Happy New Year's. I know for you guys, you still will have a few more hours before you hit the new year. It's not Jupiter. January is named after what Roman god who had two faces so he could look ahead to the future and back at the past at the same time? Is it Jupiter, Janus, or Jason? And Jupiter is not correct, that you already answered. So is it Janus or Jason? And Tracy got it with Janus. Janus, the two-faced Roman god of gates, doors, beginnings, and endings. So January is named after the Roman god Janus. Hello, Neville W. No problem, but Happy New Year's to you, Neville. And thank you for joining. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button. That would be much appreciated. It does help the channel out, and it helps me out. So thank you very much for dropping in. Hello, Monarch Moments. I'm glad you got home safely, or at least I hope you're home. It looked like you guys had a really great trip. It'll be interesting to hear about your cruise and everything. The next question is, up until 1750, what day was New Year's Day? January 1st, February 15th, or March 21st? Yes, Mike, that was a great stream. I did go back and watch it because I was in between getting home from work and everything like that too. Oh, you're welcome, Monarch Moments. And Tracy got the answer with March 21st. Up until 1750, spring was considered the beginning of the year, which is March 21st. But in 1750, the new Gregorian calendar was adopted, and January 1st became the beginning of the year. So, yes. Yeah, the question is, up until 1750, what day was New Year's Day? So March 21st, they considered until the Gregorian calendar. Yeah, that's the thing, Monarch Moments. Usually by the time I get on my flight back home and everything, I'm pretty much tired out, and even like the next day, sometimes I usually try to come home like on a Saturday, so I have the Sunday to kind of get myself back together, because I usually try to take the latest flight back home if I can, if it's available. So yeah, and it can be tiring, and then even like the next day, you're trying to get back into your life and everything. I'm working out on the property, and I'm losing you. So happy New Year, Happy New Year's, Disney Grandma. Thank you for joining. Oh, you're welcome, Mike. It's very interesting to hear about how like different people live, and different people live with different disabilities or restrictions or anything like that. So it was very good to hear that. Toasting Toasting began in what country? England, France, or America? Oh, you're yeah. That's thank you, Monarch Moments. Not France and not America. Yeah, I thought that too. No, I thought it was France, but it's not France, and it's not America. And Monarch up, Tracy got it with England. Nope, it looks like I am losing the, or it could be my phone. Yeah, it was whoever could type the fastest. And they say England, during the reign of Elizabeth I, it became the custom to spice a piece of toasted bread by dipping the toast in one's wine. They would then drink the wine and eat the toast. Thus, the custom became known as toasting. But we just kind of cheers or whatever. That's kind of funny. Toasting began in Georgia, wherever that's located, and I'm not talking about the state, okay? The country, Georgia. Ah, that's good to hear, Tracy, that everything's getting better for you on there, and yet your fingers are healing. Next question. You all should probably know this. On New Year's Day, what is the name of the parade held in Pasadena, California? On New Year's Day, what is the name of the parade held in Pasadena, California? And it is the Rose Parade, or the Rose Bowl Parade, or the Tournament of Roses Parade. Yes, that's a bucket list of mine. The company I work for, they do trips there. I didn't see one advertised this year. If they did, it might have been advertised a while back. But that's one of the parades that I would love to go to sometime, as a bucket list type of parade. It usually looks kind of chilly there, though, during that parade. It might get warmer as the day goes on. But it looks like a nice parade. Yes, it will be on NBC. And a lot of times, I know a couple of times I really wanted to go out there. Of course, Penn State had chances to be at the Rose Bowl, and sometimes that's one of the reasons why I would have liked to have gone out there or gone to different stuff. So, the next question, and I'm not sure, but it's Old Lang Syne is language from what country? Wales, Scotland or Ireland? Auld Lang Syne is language from what country? Wales, Scotland, or Ireland? Okay, Mike Willer. Yeah, it is Scotland, Noah. I'm probably going to go ahead and get off here soon just because it is becoming 11 o'clock and I know I usually watch the ball drop in Times Square on TV at 11:30 till midnight, and then on my devices I watch Resort TV 1 at Epcot, and then I usually will watch the Disney fireworks show on another device, and then I look up another couple other people to see where they're streaming from and watch that device. So I usually have a couple devices going and different stuff. And yes, Mike, please be careful setting up the fireworks. So I'll be back time to go set up some fireworks to celebrate this hour for whoever's coming into the new year. I'll be back. Just be careful, Mike. Yeah, I'm sure in my neighborhood there'll be a few fireworks or a couple people will be out doing that. I know in the city of Pittsburgh, and it's probably in some of the other major cities, I know the police departments were putting out warnings that they had their, if you were out there shooting guns, which is unfortunate, that, that happens. But they said don't be surprised if the police show up at your house because they now have those um, type of spotters that when something like that goes off. So, yes, no, I love watching the fireworks at Disney. In fact, a lot of times it spoils me. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the fireworks I'll see is basically whatever's on TV. The song Old Lang Syne. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why they kept saying just don't go out and hear the guns, start shooting them off because you don't know where they're going to come down at, and even though you're out there celebrating. And unfortunately, I know an area where my grandparents lived when I was younger, it was a fairly nice area and stuff like that. But across the valley of where they lived, you could actually hear different people shooting off stuff, but they lived up on one hill area, and then across the valley you actually went down through the woods and then up through another woods, and you were in another neighborhood that was not as nice, but but sometimes you could hear the gunshots going off, unfortunately, and hopefully didn't hit anybody, but you do end up hearing stuff. The city of Pittsburgh does do a first night celebration. They try to keep it as safe as possible because it is promoted as a family event through our cultural trust thing, because you buy a button and you can go around to different things. They have sometimes this different groups. I don't want to say the Pittsburgh Symphony, but they have a brass band show. There's magician shows. So just different things, and then they have the outside events and stuff like that. And they do an earlier fireworks show if you have young kids and you want to come down, because they do some events for kids and stuff like that. And they'll do an earlier fireworks show, and then of course the main event. They do the opposite. Instead of dropping the ball, they raise the ball in Pittsburgh. But then sometimes after you hear they have some events that are unfortunate, sometimes where groups of kids or older adults and stuff get into fights and different things like that. So, but they try to keep everyone safe as much as possible with that. Um, Here's a question. Yeah, I think a lot of people forget about that also. Here's a question here. Most of us may or may not know the answer, but for the last 34 years, who has hosted New Year's Rockin' Eve on ABC? Regis Philbin, Jay Leno, or Dick Clark? And these questions must be from a while back because Ryan Seacrest has been doing the Rockin' Eve for a while. But yes, it is Dick Clark. I remember as a kid always watching Dick Clark, and I know even when I was younger, I remember Guy Lombardo having a show with his orchestra and everything. But then they would switch over to Dick Clark for that, and now Ryan Seacrest has taken it over, and it's been a good while now since Ryan Seacrest has been on there. Thank you very much, Go Donnie Com. Thank you. Hopefully, everyone has a great year and a happy new year. What is the ball made of that's at Times Square? Mirrored glass, Waterford crystal, or aluminum foil? And it is Waterford crystal, Noah. Thank you. I don't know if like when you were there, Noah, if you, I'm not sure how close you were to Christmas or whatever, but I know when I went to New York City, it was real close to Christmas and stuff. But you could also see where they were getting ready to start setting up things for New Year's Eve and where they actually put the ball at and all of that up on the one building. But I know, and I know friends that have gone in between Christmas and New Year's, and they started putting all the fencing and everything out. Okay, yes, and now I remember because I was in Disney while you were um, heading to New York City. But yes, I just remember them getting started, getting things ready. That's one of the other things. I know it gets kind of crazy, busy, and but it would be interesting to go at least one time. I know I had cousins that went up um, when they were in college age, and they went up to do that. I think it would be interesting to go at least one time. Um, but I also know that people say, if you really want a good spot, then you gotta kind of camp out there, and then you're pretty much stuck there once you're in those corrals and everything like that. So I don't know if I would want to do that. But it looks like it would be at least fun for one time as a bucket list type of thing to do. Yeah, that's right, Tracy. The pool always stays there. Yeah, it looks kind of crazy, and that's probably one of the reasons why I've never gone. Plus, I mean, this year I don't know what it's like in New York City, but Pittsburgh's been fairly mild through this holiday season. In fact, last week when it was Christmas Eve, it was warm, and then it got that little chilly, but then it was moist, and there was a ton of fog all over the place. And Christmas Eve was really foggy, and it was kind of hard to drive around in the evening there in the late evening. And I know even just the other day when I told Jeff and Angela, I said, be careful whenever you fly in. It could be foggy because it was getting foggy out on the day that they were coming home, and I was out and about, and I just said, hey, it's kind of foggy, just be careful. I can't remember what day they came home. I think it was um, actually late Sunday. It was, yes. Yes, yes, it is, Noah. It does get crowded, and like I said, you get into those corrals, and you basically you just have your own space of probably your body with because the next person's standing right there next to you. So yeah, I don't think I would want to handle that because there's times even in the crowds at Disney when you're almost shoulder to shoulder to people, it gets kind of nerve wracking, and you know, and I never, you know, you sit there and think, is it something that you know, you wonder, you know, being in this tight crowd, you know, anything could happen or whatever. But I don't try to think of that, but it nowadays you think about that a lot whenever it's a lot of crowd. Yeah, I was just gonna say Tracy, because they were talking about that on one of the local radio stations here about, yeah, we're, you know, if you have to go to the bathroom, you're pretty much stuck, you know, in that, even though they have porta johns everywhere. But once you're in those corrals and however they have it set up, because you can see how it is, I think the big amazing thing for me is after they're done and Ryan Seacrest is done doing his part of the show and everything, the place is empty and all that confetti is cleaned up, so they're ready to roll and get people out of there as fast as possible. I mean, that's what it looks like on TV. I don't know how quickly the crowd disperses, but at least the parts that they're showing on TV, it's like, okay, get out of here, you know, type of thing. So yeah, I would think that would be too much because like I said, when you're wall to wall people at Disney, it gets kind of like crazy. And I mean, I know some, you know, you can kind of move in certain ways, but I think I would rather go to Disney World for New Year's Eve than I would New York City. Here's some things, and then I'll go ahead and end the stream, and that way everyone can get back to their celebrating or if they're whatever, ready for bed or whatever. But in the tradition of the ball dropping in Times Square, what do they drop in these particular cities? In Orange County, California, and Miami, Florida, what do you think they drop on New Year's Eve instead of a ball for the ball? And yes, you're correct, Tracy. It is orange. Hello, Rachel. Thank you for joining. Happy New Year's to you. But yeah, it makes sense. Orange County, California, and Miami, Florida, and orange. Atlanta, Georgia. What do they drop on New Year's Eve? And it is a peach. Correct, Rachel and Tracy and Noah. Correct. I know my sister was lucky enough to go New Year's Eve to Walt Disney World, Florida, and I was supposed to go with them. And it was like the year that Osborne Lights were going to be leaving. And they decided that they weren't going to go and spend the money and everything. But after I had come back for my trip, they saw the pictures, and her son just kept saying, "Oh, I want to go, I want to go." Amy solved all these questions. So then they decided to go, and they enjoyed it. They were there for New Year's Eve, and like she said, they got back to their resort by 3 a.m. and everything, and then they had a nice week afterwards because a lot of the crowds start going back home and everything. But they did enjoy it, but she said that that was something that she would think about again. But they did do a cruise one year, and she did videotape the celebrations that they do on cruise ships on New Year's Eve, And I think that would be another fun thing to do also, because they really do a big party. Yes, Rachel, what is your question? I think I know the answer to that. Let's see if anybody else can get it. And it is a potato. Is it a potato, Rachel? Or potato? A potato. That's interesting. There, that I can't remember where I've heard, but there's like a city that does a fish, drops a fish. They're saying here in Pittsburgh, a Heinz ketchup bottle. They may or may not. I can't answer that because I personally have never been there. I never really seen it on the news to say that they drop um, a Heinz ketchup bottle. A pineapple, Noah, or a coconut? Ah, coconut. Okay, Rachel, that'll be good. Thank you for tweeting that out. That would be interesting to see. It might be glass that's shaped like a ketchup bottle. I'll have to check on the news the next time, but I thought whenever they talked about the Pittsburgh one, it looked like a ball, but I could be wrong. But I personally have never gone. I had friends go to the first night whenever a few years back and stuff, and then I've had friends do other things like our science center um, does they used to do a New Year's Eve type of party and some of the other things, but I'm not sure if they did one this evening or not. Pineapples grow on a bush, not a tree. Yes, it does grow down on the ground area and not on a bush or not on a tree. Coconuts are in the trees. How about Hawaii? What do they drop? What do they drop in Emmett, Idaho? A bucket? No, I don't know, Rachel. I was gonna say a potato again, but I can't think of anything else. An otter. That would. That. Yeah, Emmett Otter. A cherry because they have a festival called the Emmett Cherry Festival. Okay, that's interesting. And I'll go ahead and do the last question. Is New York City the largest New Year's Eve celebration? Yes or no? Is New York's Times Square the world's biggest New Year's Eve celebration? And Tracy, you got it correct. No. And do you happen to know what the city is that has the biggest celebration in the world? Not London. And I'm not surprised this city actually is the world's largest. It is Rio de Janeiro is the answer. Rio de Janeiro. So I'm not surprised there because they are pretty big with Carnival and various other events. So now, according to this, the Rio de Janeiro has 2 million people on its Copacabana beach. And plus, it's summertime down there now, so I wouldn't be surprised that that's the largest party there. Actually, Rachel, she's downstairs because that's where my mom is, and she follows my mom around a lot. If my mom was actually upstairs here, she would be actually sitting behind me on the couch. Because when you came on, I looked and I go, oh, she's still downstairs. Yeah, I would have never guessed that one if somebody had asked me. But then I would have been thinking, it probably isn't um, New York. But yeah, Rachel, if she was here, she would actually be sitting right there. But she's actually downstairs because that's where my mom went. Yeah, I'll take a picture. In fact, she'll probably be back up here soon because they're going to come up and have food and everything like that. So she'll be up there. And if I had a chance, I would run and get her, but she'll run back down. But I'll take a picture. Yes, yeah, it does make sense. Monarch moments. Yes, my mom is awake. In fact, she'll probably be up here and about a half hour here because they eat. They're traditionally like to, they follow a lot of traditions of what is good luck to have a piece of pretzel after midnight and different things like that. Because my grandparents, they're no longer living, but they used to hold New Year's Eve parties, and they were real superstitious about certain foods and different things like that. But yeah, it's monarch moments. I would think also. Yeah, the Rio Carnival makes Mardi Gras look small and everything. I mean, just even when the Olympics was down in Rio de Janeiro, the crowds that were there and stuff like that. But I will take a picture of her for you, Rachel, when she comes back up and send it to you. Because I thought I heard her coming, but they're not coming yet, but they'll be upstairs here soon because it'll be New Year's Eve. Yeah, that's the one thing it would be interesting. I've been to the Universal Mardi Gras, and that's a small taste of what it may be like. But I'm sure it's a lot wilder in New Orleans, and and um, but it would that would be interesting to go and see what that's like. But I'm sure it's still pretty pretty crazy there too for for Mardi Gras. Oh, really, Tracy? You wanted to go to Rio for Carnival? I known a guy that talked about going to Rio de Janeiro, and I'm not sure if he did mention the Carnival or if it was just regular vacation. But you have to remember now they're in the summertime, so I could see why it may be busy because if people can afford to actually go there or just that area in general, it's summertime, so why not go to the beach and stuff. I've never been to South America or Brazil, South America, so I wouldn't be in Brazil or anything like that. Yes, I see that, Rachel. Now I'll show everyone what the potato looks like. But that's what they do in Idaho. I don't know how well that shows up, but that's a potato on a crane. That's interesting. A flying potato. But I am going to go ahead and end the stream as I like to get back to, and then have my stuff set up to watch the Disney fireworks at the Magic Kingdom. And then also, I do watch the Resort TV one. And I know Epcot's a pretty hopping place. And whenever I was watching them before I jumped on, he was in England, or actually in China, and they were at one of the dance parties. Because that's one of the things that they do. I know that was the one thing my sister really enjoyed, was when it became New Year's Eve in each of the different countries they would celebrate. But then some of the countries had DJ booths set up. And I don't know, I guess they couldn't really do it this year, but I didn't see or notice. But whenever the Fountains of Nations was there, they used to have a big dance area where you put on the headphones. And she said that was kind of interesting. And I've been in situations where they had those where, you know, you got the headphones and you were listening to music and people were just dancing, but you didn't hear the music. You just saw the people dancing, and they did that a couple times. They might have it in a different section of Epcot, because I know they moved a lot of the dance parties when I was there for the Food and Wine Festival. They were over by Test Track and Mission Space, or in front of Mission Space. I didn't notice if they had any for the Festival Holidays when we were there, because I just ran and grabbed my magnet and we moved on to go over to see the overlay. So, yeah, that'll be pretty much me, Tracy, after I talk to my nephew, because it is his birthday tomorrow. He was born at 1 a.m. on New Year's Day. And happy birthday to Noah. Enjoy your day, and I'm gonna get ready to get off and get ready to watch all the different events. And like you, Tracy, I'll probably be in bed by at least 12:30, 12:01. Yeah, but I will probably be up till at least 12:30, because I will give my nephew a call, and they'll probably end up calling us after midnight. So I do thank everyone. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you, Monarch Moments, because I definitely will be sleeping whenever it becomes New Year's for you. The official New Year's for you, because I'm not sure how everybody celebrates, you know, the New Year's. I know my uncle says a lot of times, when he lived out in Las Vegas, and that they would still kind of celebrate when New York did it, but then they would do their own celebration when it was actually midnight in the Las Vegas area and everything. Or I'm sorry, my cousin said that. I have an uncle that lives in Houston, and you know, he would talk about that also. But yeah, I'll be asleep by then. And sometimes when we used to go to my grandparents' house, we would stay there a little bit longer after midnight and everything until things got settled, and they would start doing the different stuff too. So yes, here's to a great 2020. I hope I get to meet some of you in the parks. Not sure if you guys will ever come back east again, Monarch Moments. But if not, if I end up getting out west this coming year, hopefully there's a possibility that we can meet. I'm not sure exactly where you live out in the west, out in California, but whether it's Southern California or whatever. But that would be my goal, is to Southern California. So, yes, April I will be down in Disney World, and not sure what the summer will bring. Usually, I like to try to go around my birthday. It's like the first week of August. Thank you, Monarch Moments. And I was just gonna ask my sister, because of the way the July 3rd holiday follows, or July 4th. I'm sorry. I may end up being going to Disney at the end of June into the July 4th weekend. So I was going to see what they might be planning or anything like that. So that might be my summer trip. Um, and sometimes I like to go down for my birthday or in and around there. It just depends on what goes on. I would love to get back down there for Food and Wine. So it just all depends. Unfortunately for me, my annual pass will expire by the end of June because that's when I activated it. Okay, Tracy, I'll have to see it and do that. Oh, okay, Monarch Moments. Yeah, I know Pepper Tree Villa lives up in the Bay Area, up in that area. I know San Francisco is an area that I would love to visit, but also if I was going that far, I would have to definitely get down to Southern California because that would probably be, like I said, the last time I was out there was in the late 90s. Disneyland was the only park there. They still had the parking lots that they used to have out there before they built all the hotels and downtown Disney and Disney's California Adventure. So, and I know that that's something I've been wanting to do, and especially since watching a lot of the people who go out there and stream and everything like that, it just really now I'd like to go, and um, so it might be something that I do this year. It's just a matter of picking when to go and everything like that. Because also with Disney World, it's still also a fun place to go to. So I do wish everyone a happy New Year's. Yes, Monarch Moments. Yes, that's what I hear from everybody. Um, the time that I went, I flew in to the LA airport. I caught the bus that went right to the Disneyland resorts and spent the day there. Got back on the bus and flew back to Las Vegas because I kind of bought an airline ticket out of Las Vegas to California to LA and everything. But if I planned a trip from here and go out there for a few days, I would probably try to fly into that Orange County Airport, that John Wayne Airport, or whatever it's called there in Anaheim. That's closer to Disneyland. But but yes, I do know that the traffic is a big is a big mess, traffic nightmare out there. Yeah, I don't know how much driving around I would do. I mean, I would love to go into like the Hollywood area while I was out there. But other than that, because the other thing I would love to do if I do go out there would be to go to Hollywood, Universal Studios Hollywood. I know it's not in Hollywood, but it's in that Universal City or whatever. But that's one of the things too. If I did go out that way, I definitely would do the Disneyland stuff and then go to Hollywood Studios, Universal's Hollywood Studios. So that would be the other thing I would want to do while I was out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Happy New Year's, everyone. Um, I do thank everyone for joining. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And I do wish everyone a happy New Year's. Have a great rest of the week. And then I will talk to you all later. Have a great day, everyone. And have a great night. And I will see you all later. Happy New Year's. I know on the East Coast there's a half hour to go, and that's where I live, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and I will talk to you all later. Bye, everyone, and have a great night, and let the adventures begin. And thank you all for joining. Have a great day, and have a great night. Bye.